Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out today. My name is Brad Scott. I'm part of the Enginuity team. I think my title is Director of Strategic Planning and Communications. We'll see if I succeed at least one of those today. Appreciate you getting out on this foggy morning to join with us in celebrating some really good news that a really good friend is going to announce today. Today we have with us a number of notables who have been great collaborators in a great achievement that we're going to talk about today. But first I want to introduce Matt Moore. Matt is a business program director for USDA Rural Development. Matt had the good or bad fortune to be in the Rolodexes of the entire Enginuity team. Matt, like the person he will be introducing, is one of those special public servants who is both a guardian of the public trust in evaluating prospective projects for support and a tremendous counselor as we asked Matt how we could best help ourselves in a competition for scarce federal resources. Matt?
Thanks, Brad. Just take a couple seconds here to talk about this project and a little bit about the USDA Rural Development and our involvement in advancing renewable energy and opportunities in the bio-based economy here in the Midwest. Working with Enginuity, the thing that impressed me through the whole process is the level of professionalism, and it was obvious the impression they made on others and the resources that they were able to marshal to get to where we are today. And I can tell you, in having administered our Rural Energy for America grant program for the last 10 years, that it's quite an achievement to be able to obtain a $500,000 grant, direct federal grant from our agency. It's a highly competitive national program, and there are only a very small number of awards of this amount in the entire country. So quite an achievement for Enginuity. With that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our state director for the USDA Rural Development here in Missouri, Janie Dunning.
Well, good morning. I'm going to start this out by telling you how old I am. And I know that's a little bit unusual, but there's a reason I'm doing that. I'm really not going to tell you my age, but you'll figure it out here in a minute. I've been with this agency for almost 46 years. And that's a very, very, very long time to be working in the types of programs that we work in. And when I started 46 years ago, we basically had farming, and we had housing. Now we have over 40-some programs in this agency. Now, why do I tell you that? Well, I tell you that because I've worked in all of those programs, and it gives me great pleasure to watch as we go around the state and my amazing staff, like the Matts, can make a difference in people's lives, whether it's rural communities, whether it's individuals, whether it's organizations such as Enginuity. I'm here to tell you that this is the first $500,000 REAP Energy Award that I have announced. And I'm going to tell you what, it's hitting right here. Because I think this company, and I think what's being proposed, has a tremendous ability to make Missouri the model state. The model state in helping our farmers turn products and things that they grow into income producing stuff that they've never had that opportunity, into helping our Missouri co-ops and our power producers reduce their costs. In what we're doing with this project in addressing the environmental. And I know, we all talk about a lot of things, and environmental's off here to the side, but that's a huge piece of this as well. It takes a lot of faith when you are a steward of the taxpayer money, your money, in knowing where to invest those funds. I'm going to give you a big picture. We are averaging in the state of Missouri bringing taxpayer money back to the tune of almost $1 billion in the last 5 years, $1 billion each year. That's a whale of a lot of money to be bringing back. Of and then nationwide, it's tremendous. When you look at all of the money that we deliver, and I'm doing this for a reason, only about 8% of USDA rural development funds nationwide, and it stands true in Missouri as well, we've looked at those numbers, are grant funds. The other 92% is loan money. So I say this to make Enginuity and everybody in this room understand that we don't have a lot of grant funds. And so when we put those grant funds out, we want to make sure they're in the right place to the right person at the right time. And boy, do I ever believe that this $500,000 grant was put to the right person at the right time in the right place. So I want to just start by thanking all of the partners. This is a project, and I'm sure that all of the members of Enginuity will tell you, you don't do this by yourself. There's a lot of people in this room that has come to the table to help out in this project. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the engineers and to everybody that has come to the table to help this company get going with this project. The other source that I really feel that I want to recognize is our congressional members. And I say that for a reason. We're a federal agency, and we do what we do at the grace of them. And I am very much aware that they need to know where we're putting those taxpayer dollars that they're voting on. So we always invite them to come out to see what's happening. And I can tell you there's not many states that the congressional members take such a deep interest in the state, and especially in the rural areas of the state and what's going on. So I want to publicly thank Senator McCaskill, Senator Blunt, and Congresswoman Hartzler for their support. Austin, are you here? There he is. Austin Husick is with Senator McCaskill's office. I'm sorry, with Congresswoman Hartzler's office. Is Corey Husick here? Did he make it? There's Corey. Oh, there's Corey. Where did Corey not come? So Cindy Hall, they're all substituting on me. Cindy has been amazingly supportive with Senator McCaskill and what they're doing. And then Senator Blunt's office, any representation? Okay. We tell them the bad things and everything, but please tell them thank you, because they are the reason this $500,000 is coming back. I am going to finalize by saying that I want to go back to the model that this can be. Everybody's got to start somewhere, and we're not going to have all the answers right now. But somebody's got to have the faith to move forward, or we continue driving in the rearview mirror, and we can't do that. We've got to be able to move some energy, and I think Enginuity is doing it. I think the multiple sources, idea that they've come up with is amazing. It's just amazing. And maybe we don't grow corn in Alaska, but every state has that product. They can have their own biomass thing, and this company and what they're doing can set that target so that every state can have their own biomass. So I just want to have to say, as I end, I am so pleased to be a part of the team, and we all know how important teamwork is in going where we want to be and in the success of a project. And I hope that this team stands tall and firm together in moving this project forward, because I think Missouri will be the model. In closing, I get to make the proud announcement to bring Miss Nancy up here. And what I'm going to be doing right now is making the announcement that USDA Rural Development commends you on your efforts in providing our nation with reliable alternative energy methods. We are pleased to present to you a $500,000 grant. And with that, I'm turning it over to Nancy.
Thank you, Janie. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for the other folks that are going to speak to us later. It is my great pleasure to represent Enginuity Worldwide and to receive this critical assistance that will aid Enginuity in our next planned phase of development. We believe Enginuity can enable homegrown, clean-burning, and sustainable engineered solid fuel that can aid the entire nation in our march towards power diversification and transformation to a new bio-based economy. I want to say thank you to USDA, the team, and the stakeholders that have contributed to the Enginuity mission of enabling homegrown energy diversity. Many of them are here today. Special thanks to Janie and Matt, and of course Nate Tutt and the entire team of the USDA Missouri Office of Rural Development for your assistance and tenacity to monitor this project through the grueling competitive national process. Your willingness to answer all of our questions, our onslaught of puzzled looks, helped us really to streamline and focus our efforts where we could really win this on a national level, and we're grateful for your patience and your support. Thank you to the City of Columbia and the City Water and Light Department for giving us the opportunity to design and assist in addressing the challenges inherent in the use of biomass fuels. We eagerly are working to satisfy the test burn schedule in 2014, and my boss is sitting right there, so we will do that quickly. Thanks also to Regional Economic Development, Reddy. I know that they're here too. There he is, there's Bernie. And also I want to mention the Small Business Extension. Special thanks to Mike Brooks and Jim Gann for just being a sounding board, because this startup stuff is really hard. It's really hard. You're used to having this network of corporations around you, and then suddenly you say, yeah, I can do this. Oh wow, I don't know how to do this, so I need some assistance. That's been very helpful. Finally, thank you to the people of Columbia, whose progressive vision is legendary. We all live here for a reason. And the voters of Columbia who established a goal to bolster the use of renewable energy and power generation, which made Columbia such a good place for this idea to take seed and to nurture. Thanks also to the University of Missouri Commercial Ag Extension. Ryan's going to give us some comments later, but they've been invaluable in supply and logistics and rural economic impact, especially Ryan, Milholland, and Joe Horner. And thanks to Bradford and the guys, the team that helped us figure out how do you get 7 tons an acre off of marginal land, because that builds the supply logistics. Finally, allow me to introduce some of the Enginuity team. I continue to be humbled by the committed and creative group that supports the Enginuity mission. Many of them are here today, including we've got a couple of innovators here. We got Bob Hyman, who's been innovating in my life for a long time, and Chad Sayre, who does supply innovation that is really critical to making the bioeconomy work. We got sweat equity founders that are here that they really do. Norm, you would be surprised, but Susan does sweat. Susan McNay, Jim Grice, Brad Scott, of course, as well as the advisors that have helped guide our ship through the rocky pre-commercialization phases. We got Gary Wheeler. Is Gary or Missouri Corn here? They've been thank you guys, and give my regards to Gary and the entire Missouri Corn Growers Association. Don Copenhaver's here as well, and Rex is here somewhere, I'm sure, or he'll see us later, I'm sure. The award of $500,000 in Rural Energy for America program grant is a great honor for Enginuity and a significant validation of our project. These funds will be matched with $1.5 million in Enginuity private funding to support the construction and equipping of a small commercial production plant. Our plan is to deploy the Enginuity patent-pending roasting process, the binder technologies in this plant. We're currently in the final stage of site selection in the mid-Missouri area for this initial production line, and we really hope to make that announcement before the end of the calendar year. The site has to meet the needs of our innovative logistics and energy district planning that is becoming more and more obvious as one of the keys to making a bioeconomy project work. We believe the production of our e-carb, engineered biofuel, can shift the paradigm of biopower production and potentially provide a power surge to rural economies by putting to work one of America's greatest assets, the American farmer. It's really not a stretch to suggest that men and women in seed caps may soon bolster the front line in America's pursuit of energy diversity and energy independence. Missouri has vast, abundant, and diverse biomass resources, and we intend to use them all. And it's the goal of our project to enable homegrown biopower by using annually renewable biomass resources in the 21st century bioeconomy. In fact, the work being done right here at Bradford Research Farms, I call it Bradford Farms, I know it's got a more official name, is contributing mightily to this goal. We challenged Tim and his team to how can we increase the production of some of those native grasses to make them a viable contributor to the overall supply of biomass in the long term at a utility scale. We want U.S. farmers to harvest these new energy crops as we're working hard to bring together the right technologies, the right logistics, and the right marketing to make Missouri an energy exporter. As exciting is our belief that our product and process can be replicated across the United States. I'm not sure what the biomass is in Alaska, but there is some, and we are eager to go that way. We finish our work here in Missouri first, and then we'll go there, utilizing diverse, locally grown, and available biomass supplies. Also hopeful is the potential that e-carb engineered biofuel may hold for extending the life and affordable power generated by our legacy coal-fired power plant fleet. These power plants face expensive retrofitting or sometimes elimination to meet the changing consumer and regulatory landscape. Retrofitting investments which may no longer be necessary if we can supplement low, stable coal with the e-carb fuels. The new e-carb engineered biofuel provides a clean-burning, homegrown, sustainable option for power producers to reduce emissions and increase fuel diversity. We believe Missouri has the capacity to supply homegrown biofuels to our local power plants, and if we can expand our manufacturing capacity, we think we can export locally produced e-carb fuel, both east and west. We really think we have something special with Enginuity. I've found somewhere along the line that this is one of the only women-owned businesses that has received this type of an award across the nation. We're very honored by that. The rest of the team may say, oh yeah, she is the boss, isn't she? The project is the only engineered solid fuel biomass project to receive the maximum $500,000, and the first of hopefully many USDA Enginuity collaborations to come. Our mission is a little different than others. Our mission is to develop and commercialize innovation in materials engineering, and to be a home and collaborative gathering place for innovators to grow and harvest their inventions. And we do it in the private side, which makes us a little different. We consider ourselves the safe harbor for biomass inventors and innovation. We take the genius, the tenacity, and entrepreneurial spirit of the American inventor and pair them with equally creative minds of our team to overcome the challenges of commercialization. We're open-minded, team-oriented, nimble, and hard-charging, and I think some of you would say more hard-charging than others. With us, everything is possible, and what others might think impossible, like a $500,000 USDA grant or a test burn purchase order from the City of Columbia Water and Light Department, it's not impossible with us, but it does take a little longer. Ingenuity is a diverse team of problem solvers, and we're delighted that we can be a part of addressing the challenges of renewable energy while using Missouri-grown, above-the-ground BTUs to supplement coal-fired power generation. Our team has developed proprietary processes and products that overcome many of the challenges that have collapsed the wholesale development and commercialization of similar biomass fuel products of the past. We focused on each challenge head-on, all the way from the field to the furnace. Interestingly, we started in the middle with the invention and development of the e-carb engineered fuel. From there, we worked backward to the field and then forward to the furnace, focusing on supply, transportation, logistics, durability, weatherability, and emission reduction. We believe we've overcome each barrier in the supply and production chain that will enable e-carb to be the answer for homegrown, diverse fuel supply. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for coming and celebrating this event with us, and we hope to see you again for future announcements of our work in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Nancy. A couple folks want to recognize again the congressional delegation. Cindy, thank you so much. Austin. And Ray just joined us from Senator Blunt's office, so thank you for being here. Our delegation is an enabler for those entrepreneurs around the state who are trying to do good things for our economy, so we appreciate your being here. Also, we have the Representative T.J. Berry. T.J., there you are. T.J.'s here. We have some other notables that we'd like to recognize. Kirk Beer from Glasgow. There's Kirk. Tad Johnson, Director of Columbia Water and Light, our great enabler as well. Tad, thank you very much. Corey Mahaffey with Moberly. All right. Tina Worley, also one of our heroes. Thank you, Tina. Mike Fuller, Consolidated Electric Cooperative. Chris Rolfing, Boone Electric Cooperative. Thank you. And our friend, Russ Carnahan, former Congressman. Russ, thanks for being here today. Tony Stafford, Executive Director of Missouri Ag and Small Business Development. Did I miss him? Tony? There you are, Tony. I apologize. And Bernie Andrews, which I think Nancy recognized earlier. Bernie's here. Bernie's been a great partner for a long time. Interestingly enough, as this great news, people look at Enginuity and say, wow, they were an overnight success. An overnight success. But our nights were very, very long, lasting 3 years. And one of the things we determined to do early on was to build a big team so we could guarantee a crowd for when the money came. So we're grateful for having so many friends and family members in the audience. Then there's a feller here, I don't have a title, Norm Stewart. I don't know what he does or what he did, but he's a part of our family as well, and we're grateful to have him with us. Next up to bat is another enabler to our success. Mike Mathis has been a city manager of Columbia since 2011. Mike progressed from a prospective customer to partner, and if truth be told, a friend. It takes more than a little due diligence, courage, and faith to partner in the development and deployment of a brand new technology. And Mike and his team showed all of that, and we are particularly grateful to have him here with us today. Mike?
Well, thank you very much. You know, it's usually considered polite to bring a gift the first time you meet someone, and Nancy did that. I didn't really know what to think of her gift. You know, it's not much to look at, but I did, through her vision, get to see what this means and the impact this can have on Missouri. And so it didn't take me long to think, we got to be part of this. You know, we're a natural partner. We're one of the few city governments in the state that own its own power production facility. And it solves so many problems. You know, we have farmers that have what many people think of as waste material out in the field. We have people who like to use electricity, and Tad and I sit in the middle and try to produce that. Well, you know, we're sort of losing our love affair with coal as a nation. It's still the mainstay of energy production, but we are looking for options to beef that up and maybe provide our future energy. So this fits that role. It solves a lot of problems for us. Now, you may not know this about city government, but it's not really known as an entrepreneurial entity, right? It's hard for us to change on many levels. You know, one, we have to obey a ridiculous amount of laws, which is good. The laws are there for a reason in most cases. But federal level laws, state constitutions, state laws, local laws. So navigating those was problematic. My job's easy. I can say, this is going to have a real impact. We got to do something, Tad. See what you can do with this. Well, then he has to navigate, and Tina, thank you for everything. Navigate this ridiculous amount. And if we printed them, we wouldn't have enough trees around the farm to make the paper. It's a lot of rules, and so they have found a way with help. You know, the beautiful part about this, everybody wants it to work, right? So the state helped us figure out how to navigate some of the. We now have permission to burn this, which is a big deal. That's their contribution, and really just figure out when and how much and how to get the right permissions. And then also, you know, we have this ethic in Missouri where we get every penny out of a dollar that we spend. And if you come to the power plant, you'll not have a better example of that statement than that. How old is it, Tad?
The oldest unit is 56 years old.
56-year-old, do we call them boilers still? Yeah. It doesn't boil anything that I know of. Well, there's water involved. But, so it's old, and it has a very specific way of working, and it's based on, engineered around coal. And so this product has to be a lot like coal to work. And you know what? The ingenuity that Nancy brings, her brain, and others, have created that. This is a problem that existed, and they solved it. You know, if it were easy, it'd be done by now, right? So we think they solved it. We're going to test it by burning this, and I might throw this in. It is a little memento. We'll see. I know that
I can fix you up.
you got. All right. I thought you might.
Yeah.
So I'll just end by thanking everyone as well. You know, we're just delighted to be part of this. It solves a problem we have. It solves a problem that Missouri farmers have. And thank you to USDA for making it a reality. You know, producing it's the hard part after you get everyone on board, right? So thank you for solving this last problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, and the City of Columbia, Columbia Water and Light were truly enablers. We first had to go out and sell our product, and then the grant came along so that we could produce our product. So we're grateful for the opportunity to have the test burn of some 700 tons of E-carb fuel, with much more to follow, I hope, if everything goes well. Nancy mentioned from field to furnace. And that really was the analysis that took place by our entire team, not the least of which was Bob Hyman, who is brilliant of his own right. What Nancy brought to the equation was, okay, Bob came up with this tremendous product that was durable, weatherized, could be produced in any size, shape, could be changed to alter the BTU content. You could throw anything you'd like into the hopper and create a pellet, a puck, or a log that could burn like coal. Moreover, it was a supplement and an augmentation to coal. Our theory that is going to be tested is that it makes coal burn cleaner. And so it can augment or maybe even someday replace. But that wasn't enough. Sounds like enough, but it's not. With the economies that Tad faces and Mike faces, it's got to be economically competitive with coal. So we looked at it, and we looked at the supply chain. And the challenge, anyone can come up with pellet, but who can provide the mass quantities necessary in order to generate power? So Nancy, drawing upon her rural roots, went back to the field and started thinking, okay, why don't we redeploy? Why don't we optimize? Why don't we put America's great farmer back to work on these fields that are not producing food, but that are producing waste, or in certain instances, corn stover, an unused product that needs to be processed. So we started there. And then we jumped ahead and said, okay, what's it have to do in Tad's furnace? Well, it has to act like coal. It has to distribute around the floor, just like coal. It has to burn at a similar BTU. It has to be economically feasible. And oh, by the way, it can't explode while it goes up this chimney. All of those things, our team and Nancy, led by Nancy, and of course with the brilliance of Bob Hyman, were able to create. I'm going to steal a little thunder or step on Ryan a little bit, but this literally can be a transformative technology that can change the rural economy. We can start injecting funds into the pockets of the American farmer. We can take those underutilized depots that sit empty and begin utilizing them again. We can begin having equipment bought and sold and folks producing fuel right here in the Midwest. And Janie, I mean no offense, but Kit Bond called Missouri the Saudi Arabia of biomass. Now, it might have been a little bit of a stretch, but I was the one who told him that. But at any rate, he said it, and I believe it, and so does Nancy and so many others. One other thing, the Ingenuity team are a bunch of homers. We really are. We love Missouri. We love rural Missouri. And the oil fields of our product are the rural communities within Missouri. And you'll see them dotted here on these maps. Because what we'd like to do is to bolster the bioeconomy of Missouri. Then we can replicate this model across the nation and become energy independent. And guess what? They use this fuel in Europe in great quantities. And oh, by the way, Janie, there's going to be other grants because there are other applications for Bob Hyman's great creation.
Great.
So Ryan, I hope that I have not, look at Matt. Matt's contemplating retirement.
We're good.
So at least change your number, right, Matt? So we're grateful. At any rate, it does, we've got another partner that has enabled us in the analysis of from field to furnace. Ryan Mulholland is here today. He's another great collaborator who has contributed significantly to our understanding of the supply chain, as well as the transformative nature of the e-carb enabling technology. The University of Missouri has been a tremendous supporter of Enginuity's efforts over the past several years, and we're very pleased to have Ryan Mulholland, agricultural economist with Commercial Agriculture Extension, to comment. Ryan, it's all yours.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction, and appreciate the opportunity today to talk to the group. It's been a great opportunity to work with Enginuity and also Nancy. We really got introduced to him, I guess, a few years ago. Missouri Corn Growers Association, Gary Wheeler, really kind of made the introduction with us. So that's how we kind of got networked. And really from the get-go, we really got excited about the prospect of an engineered biofuel that really accessed kind of the BTUs above the ground around Missouri. Really is an exciting concept for us that we really got our handle about it, so that's how we wanted to get involved. We also thought it was exciting, the prospect of kind of the rural economy, of working to try to engage it with technologies that really engage the farmers in the rural economy. We thought that was of great importance and a great way for University of Missouri Extension to try to be involved and work with Enginuity. University of Missouri Extension had the opportunity to work with numerous biomass approaches and also technologies. The U.S. Department of Energy has documented the potential for producing 1 billion tons of solid fuel from annual renewable agricultural and forest resources. For the state of Missouri, the Department of Energy projected about 5 million tons from either energy crops or other agricultural biomasses for being available by the year 2020, being competitive at a competitive price of less than $50 a ton. So we thought that's a tremendous opportunity for Missouri to really say we've got the biomass, as others have said before. One of the biggest challenges with biomass has really been the supply chain logistics. When you're trying to move a very dense product a long ways, it gets very expensive. We were really encouraged by Enginuity's approach in considering the practical barriers to supply, really taking the logistics, engineering all the way back to the field, therefore providing a complete, affordable field-to-the-furnace solution. The technology provides a really engineered fuel that's the right size, it's dense, it's durable. It also provides weatherability, which is very important to consider for the furnace fuels requirement. But really unique to Enginuity, the process also enables the farmer to become the 21st century above-ground miner of the clean-burning annual renewable fuel. The Enginuity processes are designed to redeploy agricultural logistics and assets to create a new agricultural commodity, and using the existing roadways, rivers, and railways to meet the logistical demands of a brand new agricultural non-food commodity. What Enginuity is proposing is a field-to-furnace solution, as others have talked about, that will introduce this brand new agricultural non-food commodity to the marketplace. With that, it will also generate a market for biomass procurement, a new need for logistics and transportation, both in raw biomass and also in engineered biofuel. And also new facilities to convert and process raw biomass into Enginuity's e-carb, carbon-neutral fuel. For every 300,000 tons per year of e-carb fuel that is processed, our implant's economic impact modeling software shows that there's a real positive contribution to the state's economy, with about $50 million in economic activity on an annual basis, and nearly almost 200 sustained rural jobs. This does not account for optimizing agriculture production assets that are typically usually underutilized or dormant, including land, waste, product, and also equipment. As my colleague Joe Horner, who's also been actively involved in this project from the university, wrote to the USDA in support of the REAP grant request, our department has been involved in the evaluations of biomass product and projects. In our opinion, the Enginuity technology, if commercialized as intended, will have a tangible step change positive impact to the rural economies and making biomass feedstock practical, affordable, and effective for biopower. Unlike technology we have previously reviewed, this approach will enable the use of existing power plant assets and access vast stores of biomass resources. So So with that, we've been great. It's been great to be involved in this project. We feel strongly about it, and we're glad to be a part with the University of Missouri. And with that, I'll turn it back over.
Well, as a flagship institution in the state of Missouri, if not the Midwest, the University of Missouri, Columbia in particular, has been a huge aid and assistance, and the College of Agriculture has been a real hero to Enginuity. To have access to expertise like Ryan and like Joe and like Rex Ricketts and like so many others who have contributed has been a real benefit. As a graduate and alum of UMC, it's easy for me to brag on our institution, but when they can provide real and tangible inputs to evaluating the supply chain, it makes a huge difference. It proved out our theory, and for that we're eternally grateful, Ryan. Thank you very much. I wanted to amplify a point that Nancy made, and that is, you know, the energy producer of the past wore a hard hat and a light. The energy producer of tomorrow will wear a seed cap. And the mines of yesteryear were in the West. Actually, they were a bunch here in Missouri, but that has been outlawed. The mines were in the West. The mines of the future will be in the Midwest. And so we're very excited, not only about our small little place in this grand story, but we're excited about the transformative nature of what this little invention can do for Missouri, for rural America, and the United States energy independence. With that, I want to thank you all for coming out today, and we're grateful to have you as family, friends, stakeholders, and supporters. Thank you all. Have safe travel.